Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Visionary Leaders Team podcast. My name is Aisha Harley, and I'm one of the founders. And we are so thrilled to have you here with us live and or listening to the recording. Please join us every Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific time as we explore all things wellness, essential oils, and doTERRA. If you miss an episode, you can catch up anytime on YouTube, Apple Podcast, or Spotify. And stay connected with us by signing up for our newsletter and text reminders at hellovisionary.life. Today, we are absolutely thrilled to introduce our new, yay, co-field officer and presidential diamond, Kierston Kirschbaum. Kierston will share how co-field officers represent our needs to corporate, plus insights on doTERRA's latest business offerings and winning team strategies. So whether you're a seasoned enroller or just starting, this call is packed with actionable ideas to help you grow your business now. As a faith-driven leader, network marketing pro, and mother of 5, Kierston reached doTERRA's highest rank in just 24 months. And let me say that is very impressive. Now she's the co-chief field officer, and she is here to inspire and empower us all. So welcome. And Marty, I'm going to pass it on over to you.
That sounds great. Thank you, Aisha. And Kierston, thank you so much for joining us today. And it is a holiday, so thanks for doing that.
Yeah.
We're going to jump into some questions with you. And first of all, I just want to give a little more context to some on the call. I don't know exactly when I first met you, but I do know, Kierston, that I got to see you speak at an Eric Worre event in Las Vegas, which was very impressive. I know there was a time during the pandemic where you gave this wonderful, inspiring presentation and talk that many of us used and passed on to share with people in our team so that they could just really, all kind of come together in community, no matter where we were virtually. And it was really helpful to so many of us. Through the years, you and Kyle have put together some amazing training programs that you've been so open to share with other people. And I know there's a latest program that your husband Kyle is working on, you maybe as well, that's a software app that, we might get to a little bit later today. But we're just grateful for you being here. Just to be clear for everybody, the cool thing about doTERRA is that we get to reach out to other teams like Aisha and I are doing together on this program. And I'm sure somewhere along the path of the structure of doTERRA, Kierston, we're kind of cousins, all of us, I guess. But your story of getting to Presidential Diamond in 2 years is really a remarkable story, and I know came from a need that you all talked about many times. Today, what we'd love to talk with you about is a little bit about your background, and then we'd love to hear a little more about this field officer program that you're a part of, this second round, that's representing the needs of the wellness advocates and wholesale customers in the field with the corporate headquarters, kind of building that bridge between those two. So as we start out today, there's a million things we could ask you, and we may ask more as we go. But the first thing I'd love to ask you is just kind of a softball question, which is, what are some of your favorite essential oils that you like to use or that you use regularly?
Oh my goodness, how could you ask me that? That's like, I was just telling I have this brand new little baby team in Dubai right now. And so like everything we talk about is just like so beginner, like it's just so basic, right? And so I was telling them this story where I was in South Africa actually running their leadership retreat along with their manager there, Addison. And so long story short, most of us are women here, right? I started my period and I had already been gone from my family for a week. And how doTERRA events are, it's just hug after hug after hug after photo after photo after photo, and then I started my period. And I just, honestly, I got to this point where I was like, no more, like no more hugs. I'm going to freak out. Like, I need you as a woman to understand me. I'm not okay. I'm not okay. Like, is it okay that I'm not okay? Anyway. And I didn't bring Clary Calm with me. I don't know why. Like, why would I ever go? But why would anyone ever go anywhere without all of their oils? That was the one that I was like, I don't know, didn't think about it. And I needed Clary Calm so badly. I knew I did. I knew it. And I didn't, my friend that I was traveling with didn't have any, and I didn't have any. And I was walking through the crowd, and out of the corner of my eye, I spotted a woman who had Clary Calm hanging from her backpack, like with those little, the little lid, that holds on to the roller bottles, that thing. It was swinging from her backpack, and it was like, oh, like it just like shiny, like, sparkles around it. And I just walked right to her, and I was like, I need to borrow that, please. And she was like, oh, like all doTERRA sisters, oh, you can have it, it's fine. I was like, no, I won't take your Clary Calm, but I just need it. So currently, Clary Calm, it saved me. And I think we all have those moments. So whether it's your digestion, where you're like in a really bad situation, like if you needed digestive help, then Digest Zen is your favorite oil, right? So in this situation, Clary Calm absolutely saved me. I was able to continue functioning and like keeping it cool and being a good leader, a good representative, like, because in that moment I was like, no more. I'm going to go hide in a closet. I can't do this anymore, And so currently Clary Calm is my
I
new.
love that. Well, and it's a great oil, giving us vision and calming our vision for the future. And that really ties into where we're going with this today, because you have been asked to participate as a really powerful role on behalf of all of us for doTERRA as a co-field officer. It's a really cool new thing that doTERRA started last year. So I'd love to have you tell everybody a little bit more about that. What that really means, and what it meant to you, and then what it means to all of us that you and Kyle and Eric Larson are all representing us to the corporate office. Like what is involved in that?
Yeah, thank you. So I can't talk about being a co-chief field officer without, first of all, taking you back to last leadership, right? When we were in Nashville. And I think there was a lot of uncertainty, at least for me. I'm like, how are we? I've been with doTERRA for 15 years. Like I grew up, it's like the owners of doTERRA are like my parents, you know what I mean? And it's like, okay, parents are now kind of transitioning out. Who is my new parent in doTERRA? Can I really follow them with the same energy and like the same commitment? I wasn't sure if I could. And that's hard for me to say. Like, I want to sit here and tell you, like, oh, it doesn't matter. Like, I would do doTERRA no matter what. But we need a leader, right? You really need someone that is the actual leader. And so when they announced that Kirk Jowers was going to be the new CEO, I actually felt this wave of relief. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I didn't think of that. Like, that is so perfect. That guy is so perfectly positioned to lead doTERRA as the CEO. He is such a boss, and yet he's such a friend. Like, he really embodies, like, if they had to, if whoever, if Rob Young, or if any of David Sterling, if they really got to retire, if they really do, Kirk Jowers is the man. I was like, oh, I can do this. So it really was Kirk Jowers' idea to bring in the co-chief field officer like position. So I just want to say, first of all, I can 100% follow that guy. Like, he's doing it. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like, okay, we got another 20 years in us with that guy, right? So I'm excited about that. Now, Eric Larson was the one who called me one day and said, Kirk has this idea. I wanted to run it by you. Would you be willing to volunteer to be a bridge between corporate and the field? And I was like, oh, it's such a good idea. Like, I'm kind of like, weren't we already doing that? Like, I thought maybe we already did that. I don't know. Like, it seems like we needed to have that, right? So it's just such an excellent idea. But my next thing I said is, I will only do it if Kyle can do it too. Because I have to say, and you guys, if you know Kyle, like, honestly, Kyle should probably work for corporate. Like, his skill set and his ability to collaborate and his level of responsibility, and like just his ability to kind of hold that space and like push forward in that energy is so unique. it's actually not my energy. I'm going to speak. I'm going to have a big vision. I'm going to inspire. I'm going to recruit. But Kyle is way more corporate. So I've teased Kyle before, like, you should work for corporate. Somehow they should pay you to, and so this is just a great opportunity. So I told Eric, I was like, I will do it, but Kyle has to be able to do it too, because I didn't feel like I would be able to show up fully, like, and give my all the way that I think this position deserves without my co chief, which is definitely Kyle. So
So can you
yeah,
give us an idea maybe of a couple of things that you are involved in there that
yeah.
affect us? Yeah.
Well, it's way more than I thought it would be. I will be honest with you. I did not realize it's at least 5 additional calls per week with corporate. So we are on all of the calls, like all of the leadership development, like we're on the calls with the executive committee. So every other week we are in the boardroom with Kirk and Murray and all of the head, like Drew and all of the heads of those departments. We're hearing like their problems, their vision, the way that they organize things. It's fantastic. I feel so grateful, and I am asked repeatedly for my opinion. So I'm not a fly on the wall. I'm like around. I'm not there. Eric though actually goes there at the beginning of every week. He flies and he sits there. So we're invited to go. It's just Kyle and I live far away. So we've been involved in all of the decision making, the vision, I tell them, I'm like, nope, that won't fly. I won't sell that. People don't like that. You guys are missing this, like, and they're like, they welcome it. So they'll ask us always what we think. Additionally, we are pretty much in charge of leadership this year. No pressure, right? Like, so we've procured the speakers and have been training the speakers. We're making sure that, like, I hope it goes really well, because I think it will. But in a lot of ways, I don't mean to like toot our own horn, but wellness advocates know how those events should be run. We know how we want to experience it, and where corporate misses the mark on like who's speaking. It's like they get a bunch of really great speakers, but the speakers don't like mesh together. It always feels kind of random, like she did a great job and she did a great job, but what they talked about didn't leave me feeling like I knew what to do afterwards, right? So we're doing a lot of training beforehand to make sure everything is in alignment. And we inherited the opportunity to manage the new comp plan changes during our, term of 6 months. So that's a lot of like Facebook moderating, like where normally I wouldn't say something in a Facebook group, like a diamond or a, gold Facebook group. I usually will keep quiet and just let people kind of just vent their stuff. And now I'm like, okay, what would the co-chief field officer say that could appease the wellness advocate so she knows she's being heard, but also point them in a direction of like positivity and solutions, so there's been a lot more of just the involvement of trying to be that bridge and move everyone forward, because we are moving forward, and I am excited about it. So it's a lot of communication.
Well, it sounds great. The fact that you all are organizing leadership, like, hooray for you. Thank you from all of us that, that voice is incredibly important. I've been to 16 leadership, so I totally hear you.
Yes.
And, one of the things I was going to ask you is, okay, so you're there through July, and then is it going to someone else, or is this
Through June? Only through June.
Oh, sorry. Pardon me.
Don't add another month on, Marty. Yes, it will continue to go to the next. So I believe the next group is Marie-Kim Propencher, as well as Christina Bedell. I think did you guys see that convention? I'm pretty sure they showed like that on the screen. Pretty sure it's them. And then we, as well as Jessica Moultrie and Justin Harrison, will stay on as like, I don't remember what they called it, but just, just the old CCFOs, and will be just there as like an advisory role. So I think they'll just continue every 6 months having a new presidential group, 2 different presidentials taking on that role.
Yeah. Well, now this is really, certainly this current time is going to be a time of some change, and we have not all discussed the compensation thing. So not to get into details on that today, but what I wanted to ask you about is, one thing, a lot of times we've always wondered, like, how do we voice our thoughts, our suggestions, our recommendations Do we do that through you, or do we stay with account management? And if people have not yet reached a level of silver or above, they don't have an account manager, how do they communicate their thoughts, their questions, their concerns to doTERRA? And is that
Yeah.
something you all are involved in?
Yeah, no, to be honest with you, my first thought, even before you said it, I do feel like using your account manager is going to give you the feeling of like I've been heard and I know exactly when to expect a response. And I think it would be more timely to
Mhm.
expect to communicate. That's what your account manager is there for, right? And it is your
Right.
direct line to
Mhm.
corporate without having to go through me. I just feel like your account manager is going to be able to look up your account. I've had people email me, and although I have responded, I just felt like I was a little bit in the dark. I'm like, there is so much context here that I am not privy to, and I probably shouldn't be. So I do think communicating directly with your account manager is best. And then if you don't have an account manager yet, that's what your upline is for, right? So always just working again, because I think it's difficult for someone outside of your line to be able to look into your organization and go, oh, okay, I see what happened here, or what's not happening here, kind of a thing. So probably better to keep it within your upline and their account manager.
Okay, that's great advice.
Additionally, I think commenting in the Facebook groups is where I see a lot of people getting, like Alora Segmiller from corporate is in those groups. And there's another corporate lady, Heather, that's in there. Kyle and I are in there, so corporate does see the comments there. So, try to keep it positive if you can, but also relevant. And I think posting in the Facebook groups is a good place to get an answer as well.
Cool. Well, one of the things I know from knowing you and Kyle over the years, one thing that's been fascinating to me is you've actually participated in doTERRA as a couple. And I'm sure that that has come in different phases as you've raised your family. And, to the outside world, it looks ideal. I'm sure it is. But there's also your two unique people. And I'm just curious what your thoughts are about, do you recommend working with a spouse in doTERRA? And if so, what would be some of the important things you felt has kept you all working effectively together over the years?
Oh, that's a great question. That is definitely a loaded question, Marty, because it has not always been pretty. I will say we did not work together in doTERRA until I was a Blue Diamond.
Mm.
So up until that point, I just don't think it's healthy to put so many eggs in one basket. Like, I just think, one of the reasons why I grew quickly is because I invested almost everything that I was making back into the business, incentives and, like helping people get to events and like paying for stuff for people. You know what I mean? I was really building something, and I wouldn't have been able to do that if Kyle didn't also have an income. So I think it was healthier to get to a super, super stable place before he came on to the business. And then beyond that, it definitely hasn't been easy. I don't know. Like, I would say, I'll just be honest, okay? Like, the worst part about it, there's a lot of stuff that is great, and I wouldn't change it. But the worst part about it is no matter how hard we try, the lines between our private relationship and our business and our family and our whatever, it's just a big pot of soup. You know what I mean? It's
Yes.
not like we're taking our kids to the beach and we're talking about this event or that event or blah blah blah, and that could be convenient, which is, nice to have that, but it really, like, it's pretty hard to turn off.
Mhm.
And so if you feel like there's some sensitivity there, or like you just really can't handle it, no business is worth sacrificing your precious marriage. So if you feel like there would ever be a question at all, I would advise you to not do it. And I have not lately. I mean, my baby's going to be 9 tomorrow, so I haven't had any like crazy hormonal rages recently, but we had 3 babies during the course of, like, of building this thing together, and so at different points in time where I'm like super low, and he's just kind of hanging on, like watching me go through my ups and downs of nursing and, changing and all of that. I mean, I have definitely said to him, like, I am done. I am no longer working with you. Like, you take it over. I'm not, I've had fits of rage before. Okay. So we get over it. Thank goodness we're doing great now. But yeah, like, I don't know. It wasn't the easiest thing. for
Yeah,
sure.
I can relate to that. Because a lot of us have tried that, when that's been an option, and it's been helpful in some cases, and then in some cases it's just not quite the right fit. But then,
Yeah.
so, it's just good to know. Over the years that you have not only built to Presidential Diamond, but you've retained it through, I'm sure, lots of challenges, as all of us have, in some of the things that have happened in our world in recent years, especially the last 5 years. What do you think are some of the key steps that has brought you back into doTERRA in a, motivated way and inspired way? What have been the things that have kind of brought you back up? Because that's
Yeah.
kind of what I think a lot of us also would love to hear, anything or things you've seen that have worked
Yeah.
for people that way.
Yeah, absolutely. This is such an important question. And the truth is, Marty, I've had just a hell of a 5 years too. Okay, I'm just going to say that. Like, same thing when you said, maintaining presidential, still maintaining presidential, like, but definitely by building or rebuilding certain aspects of my business. Really looking forward to some of the comp plan changes that will free up some of that, like, structure stuff, right? So, what has I want to tell you a little story, okay? And this is a moment that I had when I was in a taxi and I was driving along, and I just was like going to meet a new builder. And I was so excited. I was so excited about just the fresh new possibility of what this could mean for her. I was kind of reflecting back. This was actually just in November that I had this moment, right? I was in this taxi, and I just felt this like overwhelming sense of gratitude for all of the trials of the last 5 years. And like, even though that's super hard, but I realized that if I wouldn't have had any of that, then I wouldn't be on my way right there in that moment to go meet her.
Mhm.
And I just felt this gratitude. Like, what you need is just a fresh one more new person. Like, it's always about the power of one. And I fell in love. I re-fell in love with the process of discovering who that one new person is going to be. And that doesn't take away the frustration of the end of the month, or this is frustrating, or this person did nothing again, or this person did nothing for 2 years, and I'm so blah, 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 all the stories, right? I know, I have them too. But like, the only way to move on is to literally move on. Like, you have to start fresh, you have to start new, you have to try again, and then try again, and just falling in love with the process of trying again. And I have that moment, and I hope that I'll be able to hold on to that moment, because I don't have any, illusions that it's going to be just super easy with this new person. I still know the process that we're going to go through to develop that person, right? But I had a renewed sense of love for the process of introducing someone to peppermint for the first time, of sitting at a cafe and doing a one-on-one, and having like new people come up to the table and be like, oh my gosh, what is that? Just that, like, just that experience, right? Or having a group come over to your home and like just sitting around in a circle and just helping someone learn about foundational wellness for the first time, and just seeing that little glimmer of hope, right? Like, that's actually what we love. So there's other crap that we do that we don't love. And I think what we've realized is that in any business, in anything that you're going to do, whether you go back to work or you start another business or you do whatever it is, there's stuff that you don't like. And it just so happens that there's enough stuff in doTERRA that we do like, that it makes it worth it, right? But it's like, it's not painting this picture of, oh, it was so much better before. No, it wasn't. It was just as hard before as it is now, as it will be in the future. And you just have to remember the pieces of it that you love. And my renewed vision, my renewed sense was, I love this. I do. I actually love finding one new person. Like,
Yeah.
even if it takes me 6 more months to find one more new person. I actually just recruited a new person this morning. I got up at 4:45 my Hawaii time. I had a call with her at 5 a.m. because that's how my time zones work out. It took me 9 months to recruit her, 9 months of just being patient and being cool and finding out what her needs were, right? And just like slowly, just like dripping like love and, not being too pushy. And just this morning, she was like, I'm 100% in, right?
Right.
So I love that. I love that. And it's just a matter of, for 9 months or however long it takes, keeping your energy and your belief high enough, remembering what you love, using your oils, and just staying like high vibe enough until you find that one more new person.
I love that. I love that story. And I also love the fact that you're talking about, a very heartfelt process, quite frankly, about changing people's lives, changing their lives in the way that they're caring for themselves in their health and the time frame of meeting them where they are in that path. And then also that you're talking about this process, which I didn't hear you necessarily mention some brand, I mean, no offense, but no, like a brand new process we've never tried before. Oh, it's really the kind of the tried and true way that we meet people and build relationships and trust, and then
Yeah.
move on from there. And I love that, talking about finding the things in the process that you love, and then knowing that there'll always be some things you don't like.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's absolutely.
100%. I think that goes with everything, parenting, exercise, even church, I mean,
Yeah,
whatever it
yeah.
is, it's like, yeah.
So one of the things, right now in this time, because we have seen people's attention spans changing
Yeah.
with technology and with all of the commotion of the world, what are you finding are, your most successful ways of staying connected to your team, your current team, and the ways you found successful to connect with new people? Are they the same? Are those different?
Yeah.
Anything?
As far as connecting with my current team, I think it's the same. We've never stopped doing our weekly team call ever. Like it's always, and you know what? There were times I really wanted to stop. I thought it was so annoying and why are we still doing this and nobody's doing anything, but we just stayed consistent. I mean, consistency is in my top 5. So like, that's just something I do. I just put my head down and just keep going. But as far as I do want to share something that I think is really relevant to building a business today in 2025. Over the last few years, if I had $1 for every single person who told me, well, I love doTERRA. I do. I love the oils and I love doTERRA, but I just don't know if I can do the business anymore, right? Like, oh my gosh, like everyone and their freaking dog is saying the same thing. We all love doTERRA, but we can't do the business. Like, why? And so I've really thought about that. And over the last 5 years, I have spent thousands of dollars. Like I've taken like tons of courses. I've tried to get better because we all have a lid, right? We all have a leadership lid. So I'm like, okay, well, looks like I hit my lid. Looks like I have nothing new or fresh or amazing to offer anyone. And I better get better or else I'm not going to continue remaining relevant. So after studying like the other opportunities, right? And there's a lot of them. There's a lot of digital marketing opportunities. There's a lot of, whatever it is. How are people making money these days, right? There's a lot of ways to do it. I studied all those, joined different masterminds, and I'm in Eric Worre's mastermind, all the things, right? Did tons of research. I realized that, first of all, doTERRA is still the best. It 100% is still the best opportunity. And Kyle and I could definitely do something else. Like we could probably make the same amount of money even doing something else, but without the community, without the heart, without the healing, without the time freedom, without all those pieces that we love, and without the most important thing, and that is that what I offer someone, what I offer, any of you or any people on my team, is the ability to do exactly what I am doing. Right? I can coach you. You could pay me thousands of dollars to coach you, but I don't know if you have a vehicle that would actually take you to where I am. And that's what I love about doTERRA, is what I offer is this business opportunity. So I realized something. We have to make our business relevant again. We don't look like a business opportunity. We don't sound like a business opportunity. We don't smell like a business opportunity. We smell really good, but if it doesn't look, taste, sound, smell, appear like a business opportunity, then people will just be your customers and then they'll go do business elsewhere, right?
Mhm.
So in the last 2 years, after doing all that studying, what we developed are relevant ways for new people to use technology, to share essential oils, to build a list, to have funnels. Like these are little pieces that no matter what age you are, you do need to know buyer behavior, like consumer behavior. Consumer behavior is most of the time, okay, not always, but they see something on Instagram, for example, or Facebook, it catches their attention, they start following, they don't buy yet, they see it 5, 6, 7, 8 more times, then they click on it and they learn more, and they still probably don't buy it, but now they're getting emails and they're getting like more and more until eventually they buy, right?
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
needed to find a way to make doTERRA like that. And that's why the, finding people in person and teaching a class, that's really, really good. And there still is a place for that, but it
Mhm.
has to be coupled with automated follow-up, because the average person, our precious little sensitive hearts, we don't have it in us to follow up the number of times that it will take these distracted people that can't pay attention, like all of us, to actually make a buying decision. You have to automate that process. Even if they do come to your class live in person, if they don't buy right there, like you have to have an automated way to follow up. So we just developed free tools for everybody, and that is everyone in doTERRA. We are not selling it. We just, I mean, it was just our team for a long time, but then we partnered with Elise on it, and then, and then it like kind of turned into this whole big thing. So now we're just offering it to everybody. It's totally free, and it's done through our app. There's automated emails that you can, send to your people, and it's pretty simple, but it's turned it into a relevant business now. So I'm still recruiting people in person, online and in person and all that, but I have this like safety net now that like kind of takes care of where I lose track and I don't follow up and I don't give the information enough time. So that's been something that we've developed that I think, for all of you, I think whether you use the app or not, you do need a systematized way of, maybe an email list if you're using like whatever, there's lots of programs out there, but you do need to develop like an automated way of taking care of your prospecting base.
So, in the chat, maybe if you get a minute, you could type that in the Empower program. I just heard about it last week and took a look at the video. It looks like really amazing. And I think I'm going to ask you a couple of really honest questions about it.
Yeah.
Okay, because you have a lot of people that have used this. It makes complete sense that the consumer process to say yes to the doTERRA opportunity or the doTERRA products is different than it was.
Yeah.
You guys can see empowersocial.com, and it's
Thank
definitely
you, Lori.
a great thing to check out. And for those of you that were in the past, maybe have invested thousands of dollars, it's remarkable that this is free. Like unbelievable to me that it's free. Yeah.
Crazy that it's free,
Yeah.
actually. Like, yeah.
It is. I don't know why you did that, but good for you.
I don't know either. I think because we
There's,
love
yeah,
doTERRA. Like we just, you know what I mean? Like we have, like when everyone wins, we all win. Like we turn this whole ship around together, and I'm not looking to make money outside of doTERRA. I don't want to do that.
yeah.
So yeah.
Well, what I love about it, and I guess this is the honest question when I saw it. There are people, and I'm just going to be generalizing here. There's some people who are really good with software and technology and are happy to spend a good portion of their day sitting in front of a computer or on their phone, typing in names and doing this and that and writing emails and all this, and I know your program has a lot of that's already taken care of for them. They have the emails, they have the drips, you pick what you want to drip information out to people. But for those that are not as familiar with technology, a part of us says that if we want to be in business today, and I don't care what business you're in, you have to learn some technology. You have to. And so I guess what I want to ask you is, I'm assuming there's some kind of a learning curve around using this program, which again, it's free for all of you on this call. And, what are you seeing? Are people able to hop onto it and are they learning it? Is it difficult? Yeah, tell us a little bit about that.
So yeah, so again, we've been developing this for 2 years, and I would say up until the time that Elise Chedevi got a hold of it, okay, it was pretty hard for people to learn because it's insane for us to like, first of all, conceptualize, develop the program, do the things, put the resources in, do all that, and then also develop a program like to coach people through, like we did our best. But once Elise, and all of you, I'm sure most of you have gone through the daily mentor calls, she basically created a daily mentor call program for the app. So all you do, everybody, when you go to that link, if you just try it, just download the app. And the only thing you need to do, like literally the only thing, is click on the coaching section and start with daily mentor call number 1. And she
Nice.
walks you through like baby steps.
Love that.
Do this, then do this. Yes, Bettina. Whoop-de-doo. Like, you know what I mean?
And she's
Like,
a master at that, isn't she?
yes,
She's really,
I
this is
could
one of her
not have
gifts.
done it without her. We needed her to come on, and I was like, Elise, I need your eyeballs on this. And also Asti Atkinson, who is just
Oh,
brilliant at writing and like all of her development. They turned this app inside out, put all of the doTERRA programming in it, and have just developed something that's super special. And that's the thing with network marketing. It has to be easy, like it has to, and that's been the problem. I think that's why we all, maybe, and I don't want to speak everybody, but a lot of us got stuck because tech was like just going, going, going. And some of the leaders in doTERRA, even they developed these like $5,000 coaching programs, and like, and I bought it. And a lot of my leaders bought those, and like, it's cool. I'm not even saying that it wasn't good. It's good to learn. And there was a lot of value there. But what we did is we took all those concepts, we pulled them into an app where you can literally just like push a button, and then like the funnel is done for you, and you're not creating your own funnel, and you're not creating your own email sequence, and you're not doing any of that. You're still networking. And that's it. And now there's a coaching program that walks you through how to network and how to use the app as a companion tool to the work that you're already doing, just to be a catch-all for, you're still doing the networking. Like, you're still teaching the classes, you're still doing the things. It's just a matter of staying organized in a way where people can kind of simmer for a little while in your funnel. And Elise even teaches you what a funnel is. And it's so basic. I'm like, when I hear her teach it, I'm like, this is so kindergarten, but I love it. She's like, a funnel is a thing that you would find in your kitchen that, it starts wide at the top and then it funnels out, and I'm like, yes, Elise, that is a funnel. But for someone who doesn't know what a funnel is in business, they're like, you know what? I needed to hear that, actually.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for telling me what a funnel is. So yeah, it's fantastic.
That's great. Well, I remember years ago, Justin Harrison used to do a little illustration with all these people being poured into the funnel and then one coming out. And it was the idea that, you have to talk to a lot of people. You're going to get a lot of no's to get to yes. And I think that the fact that this is an automated program that people can start to tap into is really great, because we've all been dabbling in the, the doTERRA social and the, this and that and all the different things, right? So I think that that's very exciting. So that kind of brings me to my final question. You've been talking about some of the weaving in some of the practical tips, and particularly in terms of our mindset. And I really appreciate you talking about that, finding again your love of the process of sharing and changing people's lives with doTERRA, and focusing on not just the products, but also the opportunity for them to create residual income, which many of us have found is critical to the way we want to live our lives, right? And have that in place. But the question I have for you is, as we look at 2025, what and beyond, what are you most excited about? If there is any particular thing moving ahead with doTERRA, what can we all look forward to together as a part of this big doTERRA family?
Yes. So, I mean, first of all, VMG, right? Like, I love VMG. I left my VMG at a hotel in Johannesburg. And so for the rest of the week, I didn't have it. And I was like, so upset. I genuinely, and guys, I like Lifelong Vitality. I used it for however 12 years. I was never mad that I left my Lifelong Vitality like I was mad that I left my VMG. So I'm just saying, that's me. We all have our different thing. But here's what I'm mostly excited about besides that, is that doTERRA is a relevant business opportunity again. Because of what? Because of our technology, because of we've always had amazing products, so that's not a thing. But because of our technology and because of the comp plan changes, where it will be so easy for a new person to earn $500 quickly, that is a business, right? So this way, now we're competing again. It's like apples to apples, where someone's like, well, I could go drive for Uber on a weekend and make $500, or I could start a doTERRA business and make $500 now and every single week or every single month, right? Like it's comparing, like, and it's much better, as we know, because it's not just a, hauling buckets $500. It's not, it is a hauling buckets $500, but it's also a residual $500. And it's also so easy to share the business with somebody now by saying, hey, come make $500 with doTERRA with me. And all you do, you build, this is what my whole leadership presentation is about. That core rank now is that elite core rank, like making 500, hitting elite, making 500, hitting elite. Do that 54 times in your presidential diamond. Now you have a path again. Whereas before it was like bottlenecked. It was feeling like, I love the oils and I love doTERRA and I don't know if I can get 500. Like, I don't know if I can get there yet. Now it's like, I know how to do this. Give me the roadmap. I'm going to do it. Rinse and repeat. We are going to get so much momentum. And also, I don't know if you guys know this, but Isaac Wilson, I think his last name is, he is the new GM of North America. And again, the same feeling that I had when Kirk Jowers was announced as the CEO is the same feeling I just had when I heard that Isaac was the new GM of North America. I'm like, I can follow that guy. Like, I am excited to show up, to speak on stage with him. I'm not kind of looking at him going like, okay, this is the corporate guy. I don't mean to be rude, you know what I mean? But like, there's just some people that you're like, yeah, we're going to do our own thing over here. Now I feel like I'm bringing my whole team to this. This is what I want to aspire to. Achiever is my number one in my strengths. So, and competition is very low for me. So I'm not competing against anyone. I want everyone to win. Like, we're all achieving. If we're not all achieving, I don't want to play, you know?
Yeah.
So I love to find things that I want to aspire to, like, be a part of and to bring people into. And I think that's what I'm most excited about for 2025 and beyond. Is I am now super excited to recruit people into the business. Almost all of my time is spent talking to people about the business more than anything else. So I feel really confident in that. And if you guys, need to, get a little bit of that on you, just follow my Instagram. It's pretty much all I talk about. I just feel really excited about the business. Our products are amazing, but I love the business more than anything. So
That's great. Well, it's great for all of us too, with a different perspective. And that was one of the reasons we wanted to get you on today's call, is that you represent another experience in doTERRA that many of us have never had. We have not done that kind of study, and we have not been students of the network marketing industry. We are, more than anything, I think we are lovers of essential oils and wellness products. We're natural health enthusiasts, and there are many, many professionals on this call and that listen to the podcast that are in the medical fields or in the integrative care fields, and in many different forms. And, I think that part of this is, I know for me, just as a comment, when I started my doTERRA business, I was a wellness center owner, and I needed another way to earn an income during a big recession because all my clients were going away, and I needed the money that came from something. And I tried a part-time job when I wasn't massaging people, and that didn't really generate much, but like $50 a week. So that didn't help. So, the doTERRA thing, which I thought I would never do, it seemed like, oh, I don't do that kind of thing. And quite frankly, because I was able to integrate the use of the products in my life and in my profession, along with sharing the essential oils with the people in person at the time, and then continuing to remind them online of how it would work. I really feel like there's an opportunity for everyone, whether they've done this business before or not. You could have been using the oils for, 16 years, and all of a sudden saying, hey, the world is changing a little bit, or my body's changing, and like my hands are starting to hurt for massage. It's time to start to think about, what is it I'm going to create that will create that residual income? And the cool thing is that, I know for people on this call, and people, you know, I can't speak for Aisha's team, but for my team, I can just say, we have people that just love the oils. They've been buying them monthly and they use them in everything in their lives, and they always want to learn more. But they also are at a point where something may have changed. You know, someone may have lost a job in the house. Somebody may, in the family, you know, maybe there's a need for additional income to help pay for a student or a child or a parent. And, you know, the same things that I think were really on the upswing when we all got started with doTERRA, you know, some of us earlier on, whether we just used the products or we did it as a business, are very relevant for people in new ways in 2025. And I think we need to honor that within ourselves and our team, and think about, just as you're saying, Kierston, to begin talking more about that opportunity to create an income with something that we feel passionately about, you know,
Yes.
and to do it gracefully and beautifully. And I love the tool that you all have for us to be able to do that, and that we can do that in our own forms that can be successful.
I love that. I would just say, I will just add one little thing, that when you were talking about all of these beautiful healers that you have on this team, like it's amazing. That is what really makes doTERRA who we are. So first of all, thank you for being so educated and so knowledgeable and using the oils, and just knowing, like, I would be one that would come to you and be like, okay, I got this situation, you know, I'm still learning. What I love about doTERRA is that you, as a wellness practitioner, can not only heal with your hands and with the oils and teach people about their bodies, but you can make a greater impact by empowering another wellness professional also with those tools and how to heal and how to do that, right? So I was imagining when you were talking, like the pond and like the ripple, you know, you have your one ability, it's like you one, you know, 100% of your efforts to grow and to share and to teach people. But if you had, you know, if you empowered other wellness professionals with the same tools, not only do you build a team of caring, healing wellness professionals, but you also give them, it's not just about you hitting a rank, it's about you empowering those wellness professionals with those tools. And that's how I would think about the business in that way. It's just a matter of, I have this whole toolkit, I want to make sure that you have the toolkit as well. And it's a beautiful thing. So
I love that. Well,
yeah.
Kierston, we are excited to see you at the leadership retreat.
Yes.
Some will be in person, some will be online, but you know, it's going to
Great.
be a great opportunity to get ourselves up to speed on all the new and greatest new trends in building businesses in doTERRA, hearing about what's working for people, success stories, and you know, thank you in advance for all of the work you and Kyle are doing to try to help all of us build successful businesses, and just have a voice in doTERRA. It really matters. I feel this is a really great thing that you guys are involved, and especially you two. I think you're just both amazing people. So thank you for
Thank
doing
you.
that.
I appreciate
Yay.
that. Yeah.
All
Yay.
right. Well, thanks everybody. If there's any other comments or questions, Aisha, I don't know if you have any other comments you want to add as we wrap this up today, but maybe just a quick reminder about our next week. Do you want me to mention that? Okay, cool. So for everyone on the call, just to let you know, next week we're going to be joined by Executive Vice President of Education, Jared Auger, who's going to bring us all up to speed on all the many different educational opportunities that doTERRA has that we can personally take advantage of, and that we can share with our teams, whether they're product users or business builders, that really are just, there's such a huge library, I will just call it, of all these different ways one can learn, depending on if they want to take 2 minutes, you know, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 20 minutes, 2 hours. There's all kinds of ways. And so he's going to talk about that. It'll be a great call. I hope you'll be on it. And Kierston, thank you so much. We all look forward to seeing more of you. And just thank you for bringing your special energy and your joy about doTERRA and what you're doing and the difference you're making in the world to all of us. It was really spectacular to hear from you today.
Thank you
Thank
so
you so much.
very much. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.